Internal bleeding and hemorrhage. Are these really fixes or just bad band-aids? I mean, D has a reputation for making band-aids, and I'm not trying to be salty or toxic, but yeah. If these are like emergency band-aids because they have still no clue how to fix the issue, I mean, that's fine. It's just okay. They are gonna work for a little bit. People are gonna make some builds, different builds, try new weapons, or try older weapons because. And about the mods themselves, what are they doing? They are not fixing the problem. They are putting like a dozen or so of weapons in the god tier meta and making some other weapons viable, or to have a alternate build and making some weapons with really weird builds to kinda work. The thing is, it seems like they went with the impact damage, and it happens that a lot of weapons are not really into impact. Most of the weapons are like what, slash and puncture. But yeah, that's not even the real thing. The whole logic problem with this fix or this solve of the problem is that you have three physical damage types. You have impact, you have puncture, and you have slash. Slash is the best one between these, then puncture is meh, not really good, and impact is total shit. And what they've done with these mods is to actually take your worst damage type and make so he can trigger your best damage type. Why? This is not, that's not really a fix. And to actually fix the damage types, I mean, you would have to make some mechanic for the impact. So let's try to talk about impact and how we could fix impact. We could take a certain range of damage. If you deal less than, let's say, 1,000 damage, you're gonna have one effect, and if you do more than 1,000 damage, it's gonna have another effect. So let's bring something to real life. If you take a punch in your arm, and right after that punch, you get punched again on the same place, that's gonna hurt more, right? So with that, if you would get a impact proc on our enemy, let's say you headshot him, another headshot could deal a little bit more damage. Or let's say procs, you get an impact proc on the head, the next damage or impact damage or proc is gonna be increasing the damage that he takes on the head, or let's say another limb, whatever you wanna do with that. And if we go past that 1,000 damage, we add a flat percentage of damage increase on the next shot. Let's say you deal 1,000 damage on the head, you get an impact proc, and then the next impact proc or the next impact damage on the head is gonna deal 50% more damage. That could be something. I don't know if they can do something like that, if they would do something like that, but yeah. And puncture, what puncture could do is to remove some of the enemy armor and cause the next shots after a puncture proc, or let's say you've got a puncture proc on the enemy and then you're gonna shoot him again, and when you shoot you get just punched through. You're gonna deal damage to him, he's gonna punch through and keep going. I think that could be something interesting for maybe some weapons that are focused on puncture, or could help a little bit with the weapons that are more towards single target. I mean, I'm just speculating and thinking about solutions. I'm not a game designer or a game programmer or anything like that. Maybe something like this is just too complicated to do. Now let's go back into bringing primary and secondary on par with melee, which was the thing they proposed. We have to think, why is melee much better than primary and secondary? I mean, we probably have better mods for melee. We have the heavy attack, which pretty much doubles your damage, and you can go even better because it's not only a big amount of damage you're gonna be dealing, it's double the critical chance, and yeah, probably more stuff that I won't remember right now, won't be able to. And also the combo counter, which is going to increase your damage even further, and we have great mods with that. We have Blood Rush, we have Whipping Wounds, which are gonna make us deal insane damage. Get high crits, high procs, and by having those mechanics on melee weapons, you're gonna have to think on new mechanics for primary and secondary to make them work. Putting Hunter Munition like mods for them, it's not really gonna work. But yeah, that is, for me this is a bad band-aid. But if it is an emergency fix and they are planning on solving this soon, like, it's totally okay, it's totally fine. It's gonna give a lot of people more hours to form a more weird guns and try different builds. But yeah, I mean, the checker is insane now. The checker, the calor, there's a handful of weapons that are dealing insane amount of damage. I mean, we just demolished those guys. This is my old build, the checker. I only added internal bleeding, and I don't know what I removed, probably Hunter Munitions. But the thing is, we're gonna have some kind of a conflict between internal bleeding and Hunter Munitions. Some weapons are just gonna work better with Hunter Munitions. And why the hell would they make so... The fire rate stuff, what's the deal with that? And they added internal bleeding and hemorrhage. They buffed the critical chance mods, but I mean, the whole point is probably to get more crit with the weapons, but also keep a better chance of the internal bleeding happening. But if you're gonna get more crit, why don't you just use Hunter Munitions? I mean, what's the whole point on it? Again, we're gonna have a few weapons on the meta. Probably you can make all of the Kuva weapons to work. I think if you add impact or something like that. Another weapon that I've seen a difference was the Penta. But of course it is the Penta with mag. It's not by itself. So yeah, these are my thoughts. Again, for me this is better than nothing, but they are still bad band-aids. They will keep us entertained for some time, but it's only a matter of time until all of the possible builds are found and you can't do some new ones without a ribbon. So yeah, that's what I think about these mods. Let me know what you think about them. What builds are you doing? What weapons are you using? Leave it in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave it a like. And for more Warframe content, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.